Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Tyler Link and I own a $4 million concrete and landscaping company that I started 6 years ago, and I also own Contractor CEO, which is a marketing and software business to help other contractors grow. My first year in concrete I did $750,000 in sales, and my first year in landscaping I did $500,000 in sales, and I talked to contractors all over the United States, so it's safe to say that I know a thing or two about starting and getting work fast. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 steps that I would do if I had to restart my contractor businesses all over again. Oh, and make sure that you stay to the end, because a lot of my tips are not like most of the other YouTube videos that I found when I was doing research on this. So this is going to be completely different than what you would probably hear otherwise. Number 1 is to pick a niche. I cannot tell you guys how many times that I see people and they're afraid to let go of certain things because they're very skilled. They say, oh, I know how to do painting. I know how to do drywall. I can do cabinets. I can do concrete. I can do landscaping. I can do fencing. I could do everything, but there's a huge problem with that. And I'm gonna give you an example. Let's just say, for instance, that you have a hand problem. You fell and you hurt your hand and you need to go see a doctor. Would you pay more to go see a general doctor that sees everyone for everything from a headache and a toothache and knee pain and all of that? Or would you rather see a doctor who specializes in hand surgery or hand, like fixing hands? The answer, if you're smart, would be going to see the hand specialist, right? We pay more for people who are specialists because we value their service more. And it makes sense because you think, wow, if this person is doing concrete and all they do is concrete, they must be really, really good. So the very first step in starting your business is to not think that you're gonna be everything to everyone. Don't worry about giving up some of your services. There is plenty of money to go around and you could always add services, add businesses later, but pick one and stick with that. Do all of your marketing, all of your branding, all of your messaging needs to be talking to that customer who's looking for the one thing that you are an absolute badass with. Step number 2 is I would spend money in marketing before anything else. And I know people are gonna say, what do you mean? Why would I do marketing before I buy a big old truck and tools and all the things? Because number 1, you could lease out a truck, you can lease out, for instance, a trailer, you could lease all of that stuff up. And you don't wanna have big payments on equipment before you have work. So, you know what would be even worse is if you spent all of your money on trucks and tools and all of that, and then it sat on your driveway because no one was calling you to actually buy your service. So before you buy anything, I mean, if you are going into business and you're actually jumping in, so I'm not talking to you if you have wanna hustle. We're talking about what I would do if I were to restart everything. I would get a website, I would get my logo made, I would get business cards. At a bare minimum, I would get all of that stuff. Because here's the other thing, what did we just talk about in point number 1? That if you're not specialized, people won't pay good money for you. Well, guess what else? If you don't have a website, you don't have business cards, you don't look legit, then people will not treat you legit. So what type of people would be drawn to someone who doesn't look legit? It's people who are drawn to cheap businesses. So not only will investing in marketing get you work, it'll get you leads, it'll get your phone to ring, it'll also get your customers to treat you more seriously because you treat yourself more seriously. You look more serious. They're gonna pay a higher dollar for you. It's gonna attract better customers overall. And so I'm not saying that you have to spend $10,000, $20,000 on marketing when you first start either. Like, be reasonable. I'm not saying to go spend every last dollar that you have on marketing. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like, for instance, here at Contractor CEO, we have what we call the Foundations package. The Foundations package gets you a super professional website, your logos, your business cards, all of that stuff. It even gets you access to our Contractor CEO software that you can use to put together estimates, invoices, you name it. We package everything all up for only $497 a month. And if you don't have that to spend on your business, then you might want to work a little bit longer before you get into business. And that doesn't go just with Contractor CEO, that goes with everything, right? If you don't have a little bit of money saved that you can invest in getting some marketing, you either want to work and save up some money so that you can go all in, or you're gonna have to work full-time on a full-time job that actually brings in income. And then your second full-time job is gonna need to be promoting yourself, right? Like going to networking events, going to, say, Chamber of Commerce, meeting your neighbors, and all of that good stuff. So you don't have to do anything crazy, but at least get the basics done right when you start. All right, number 3 is once you have the leads, once you've been selling some jobs, once you started booking things out on the calendar, now it is time to start investing in equipment. You don't want to be running equipment and renting everything, but the beautiful part is when you start renting stuff, you start going to notice what you actually need and what you don't need. So what I would do, and when I started my concrete business, I'm not just telling you guys this from a YouTube video, and I'm not some online guru who didn't do this before. When my partner and I started our concrete company, we started with literally a 2001 Dodge Ram. It's either Dodge Ram or a Chevy 1500. It was one of the two, super beat up. We couldn't even tow a trailer. We couldn't do anything. And so what we realized is we were spending a lot of money on trucks. So what did we do when we first had a little bit of work? Is we went out and we bought that. After a while, I noticed, hey, we're renting a dump truck like 3 times a week because we were demoing driveways, patios, we had to bring in fill, and that was like $600 a week. And then so I went to a trailer place and I said, hey, how much does it cost? It's only like a couple $100 a month to buy a dump trailer. So I signed an agreement on that, right? So when you start renting things, you're gonna actually notice the things that you really need to spend money on. And the best part is, if you spend the money on the marketing first, then you know you're gonna have enough work to pay your bills. Because there's nothing worse than having a ton of bills, not having enough work to pay for it. You wanna talk about a one-way street to ending your business within a couple months, that's the way to do it, so don't do that. Number 4 is I would hire the right person to do the work. And this doesn't have to be right away, so keep in mind, once you start selling jobs and you're doing the projects and all of that, and ideally this happens sooner rather than later, is you hire someone that can help you in the field. I talk to contractors all the time, and their first year is the exact same as their second year and third year and fourth year and fifth year, all the way to 30 years. And they're like, oh, I've been in business for 30 years. And I asked them about it. I said, have you been in business for 30 years or have you been in business 1 year 30 times? And so what a lot of people do is they go until they get busy and then they stop growing because they're so scared to hand off the work to someone else. And we're so terrified, right? A lot of contractors specifically are almost artists. They believe that their work is everything, which if that's you, you can still have a lifestyle business, but know if you want to be a business owner and if you want to do what I've done in the past and what so many other people have done, which is scale to $1 million in sales within a couple of years, then you have to be comfortable with giving off some of the responsibility. And so a lot of people, what they want to do is hire, say, like an office person. They want to hire, I don't know, some back-end staff that at the end of the day, they can't take that much time off of your plate. But if most of your time is spent on the job, say 90+% of your time is spent doing the actual work, then how are you gonna grow as a business? If the business grows based on you and your effort, then you need to hire someone that actually will take that off of your hands. And it's not like a clean handoff. A lot of people think that when you hire someone that you're never ever going to go to the job site. That's not true. Right? When you first hire someone, you have to go to the job site in the morning. You have to get them lined up. You have to show them how you want it. And then you have to check in at the end of the day to make sure that they did what you wanted and that they're moving fast enough. You still have to manage. But what does that free you up? It frees you up for 4 or 5 hours a day. And what do you need to be doing? You need to be generating more business. You need to be doing estimates, sales, networking. That's what actually grows the business. What doesn't grow the business is you sitting there with a hammer or nails or a shovel. It involves you getting out, signing contracts, and bringing in money. So when you start growing, just know that that's something you're gonna have to hire out is the field work, and your responsibility is gonna be go get more work, go bring in more money, and grow the business. And number 5 is really simple. It's just to rinse and repeat and invest into the business. This is where I see a ton of people also going wrong, is all of a sudden you start having some success, right? You're marketing, you're getting leads, you're making sales. All of a sudden you have a crew and you can trust them to do work, and everything's going great, and finally the business is making a little bit of money. You're like, oh my God, finally my efforts are paying off. This could be after a year, after 2 years. Some people it could be even faster. But what I see a lot of people do is the business makes money, and all of a sudden, what do? They go out and they buy a boat. They buy a bigger house. They buy all kinds of toys, and they take the money out of the business, which is, think about like a business like a baby. Imagine how much food does a baby need? They need to eat all the time. They need the right formula. They're still growing, right? Imagine if all of a sudden you started seeing the baby grow and you're like, oh man, when I first had my baby, they're 10 pounds. Now they're 40 pounds. I can't believe it. I don't need to feed my baby anymore. That is absolutely not how this works. As you start making money, one of the reasons why I've been able to grow to 4 million in 6 years is as I made money, I would pull a little bit out for myself, but not that much. I was reasonable because what I knew what was going to be more valuable is I took that money and I bought more things that were gonna make me more money. So what does that look like? Like, what are things that you could buy that are gonna make you more money? Well, for number one, it's more marketing, because if you only have enough leads to do, say, $500,000 in sales, $1 million in sales, then guess what? To get to $2 million in leads, or in business, you need more leads, right? So you could buy more marketing. You can buy more people to help you, right? You can buy, for instance, an office admin, a sales manager. You could buy more crew. You could buy equipment. You could buy more tools. You could buy things on the job site that are gonna increase efficiency. That is what you need to spend your money on. And so if you as the business owner are constantly reinvesting back into the business, buying things that make you more and more and more money, that is how you build a powerhouse business over the long haul. And way too many people get to a certain stage, and then all of a sudden they want to act like Mr. Hotshot. They do the keeping up with the Joneses, and they want all of their friends and family to be super impressed with them from the outside looking in. But what matters more is how much money you're bringing in on a monthly basis and what you keep in your wallet, not what you're spending. Because if you make $1 million a year, but you spend $1 million a year, let me tell you, you're just as broke as someone working at McDonald's. There's no way around it. So make sure as you're making that money, you're saving some and then invest in what you can. So those are the 5 steps that I would take if I was gonna restart my contractor business all over from scratch. This is actually what I did in the past. This is what I would do again. So again, if you wanna check out how Contractor CEO can help you, check the links down below in the description, and I will see you in the next video.